In 1861, history struck the United States. War broke out between the North and the South over one of the greatest controversies in human history, the institution of slavery. In order to reach such a climax over a single controversy, leaders needed to create the burning passion for the cause of abolition. Theodore Weld was one of the greatest abolitionists pre-Civil War, exposing the atrocity of slavery through his eloquent speaking in his convincing novel, American Slavery as It Is, A Testimony of a Thousand Witnesses. Born November 23, 1803, in Hampton, Connecticut, Weld's eyes first opened to the issue of slavery as a 6-year-old, when an African-American boy was secluded from the rest of his class. As a young adult, he was influenced by Charles Grandison Finney. He became an evangelical speaker, especially for temperance, and enrolled in Lane Seminary in Cincinnati, Ohio. Engaging in anti-slavery debates, Weld and his band of colleagues left the school after the topic of slavery was banned. In 1834, Weld became an agent for the American Anti-Slavery Society, working tirelessly to convert people to the abolitionist cause. He even converted the widely known abolitionists James G. Birney and Harriet Beecher Stowe. Weld married Angelina Grimke in 1838, and the two quieted down for a bit. Angelina Grimke and her sister Sarah were already inspired abolitionists, growing up on a slave-owning family in which they despised the treatment of their slaves. Weld had stopped his public speaking due to health issues, but in 1839, the American Anti-Slavery Society published his book, American Slavery as It Is, A Testimony of a Thousand Witnesses, co-written with Angelina and Sarah Grimke. Their book was one of the most influential books of the antebellum period. Beginning with the table of contents for easy access, it included many testimonies by those who lived and visited the South, as well as previous slave owners. It also includes a section of Southern newspapers with advertisements of cruelty done to slaves, self-incriminating the South. Finally, there's a section refuting pro-slavery arguments, including one of Thomas Jefferson's pro-slavery letters. The introduction starts off by questioning morals and institution of slavery. Weld writes,
"Is slavery, as a condition for human beings, good, bad, or indifferent? We submit the question without argument. You have common sense and conscience and a human heart. Pronounce upon it."
In the testimonies, slave owners and witnesses speak of great injustices they saw. These include severe whippings, branding, torture, and more. In some cases, slaves were whipped to death and the slave owner was simply acquitted from trial without question. Many testimonies also describe the brutal diet, clothing, and work environment of slaves. One unsettling testimony speaks of whippings, the most common form of punishment. He says,
"I have often heard their groans and screams while writhing under the lash, and have seen the blood flow from their torn and lacerated skins after the vengeance of the inhumane master or mistress had been glutted."
In the newspaper clippings, the Grimke sisters went through thousands of Southern newspapers to find ads for runaway slaves that would describe the cruelties done unto them. Finally, the rebuttals take published or recorded pro-slavery arguments and combat them with facts and opposing arguments. Weld continued his work through the 1840s, advising members of Congress on the issue of slavery. He started his first school in 1854 in Eagleswood, New Jersey, and continued advocating for equality in his institutions. He passed away February 3, 1895. Thanks to his hard work, many people pushed for the abolition of slavery. He started countless discussions, contributing greatly to the appeal of war in order to stop slavery and save the United States. In 1865, the 13th Amendment was passed, achieving Weld's goal of abolition. During his time, Weld strived for abolition and stood for equality. He was truly one of the United States' greatest abolitionists.